All right, here we are, the Wait for It Seattle podcast. We're pretty famous, Kev. Did you know that?
We got a couple more YouTube subscribers, by the way. Subscribe to
Oh,
us on YouTube if you
nice.
can't just if you want more than just our voices, and you're one of those people that watch podcasts. It's a thing.
Yeah, it is a thing. My kids watch YouTube podcasts all the time, and they're way more boring than us. I had 2 social events this weekend. Whew, that's exhausting for a 46-year-old. And one was like a school carnival type thing,
Yeah.
and had a good conversation about the podcast. Next night, wedding. We got a sometime listener who really wants to be on the podcast. So we got people wanting to be on. We got people
We
listening.
gotta create like a list then of
I know.
people.
Yep. It's and then I had other people at school who were talking about they should be on the podcast. Or let me introduce you. I met a student who has a podcast, Seattle Sports Podcast, a rival. So
What are we gonna do?
I don't know. This is big time. It's episode 67. We're at Seatown Sports, which is Kevin's original creation, and he operates as if this is still his creation. He just makes decisions without me all the time. But for episode 67, we have 2 choices, right? One is Charles Cross, good left tackle, good player. But there's only one person we can name this podcast for, and that's one Matt Festa, number 67.
At one point, he was a bullpen pitcher for the Mariners.
Yeah, Kev, in 2022, he was a key piece, including he pitched 2 innings in the 18-inning game against the Houston Astros. 2 innings, 14th and 15th inning. 6 batters, 2 strikeouts, no runs, no hits, no errors, nothing. 6 up, 6 down. Matt Festa should be the hero that we're talking about to this day. And Matt Festa, this is for you because your Seattle Mariners went out and swept the Houston Astros last weekend, Kev.
This is one of the many great things we're going to talk about today. I figured the theme for today could just be something simple. We could just start our sentences off by saying, that was awesome when.
Yes.
Because only awesome things happened this weekend. Maybe a few subpar awesome things, but mostly just awesome things.
Even the bad things, it's going to sound bad to call them awesome. We'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
But even the bad things that happen to franchises, like making changes, I would argue are awesome for the franchise. So, but let me talk about this for a quick second, because we have some loyal listeners who have said this. Plus, I saw somebody else say this on X. They were like, what a Sunday. Mariners swept the Astros. Totally true. Or what a weekend, right? And then it was Seahawks win, Huskies win, Kraken win. I'm like, what are we doing?
Kraken.
We need to stop. And you know, Kev, I talked about this on here. I love the Kraken. I'm super excited. We're not going to celebrate the preseason opener. No offense, Jim Pullen. We're not going to celebrate the preseason opener in the same stratosphere as even the Apple Cup, which is the third game of the year, which you could say doesn't matter, but it does. The Seahawks beating the Saints, certainly it doesn't belong with the Mariners sweeping the Astros. Let's stop.
Okay. At the end of this, we should discuss what was the most impressive of these 3 things that we're going to talk about.
Oh, it's easy, Kev. You could start right now. Everyone's going to say the Mariners. So let's start
right now with the Mariners. Yeah. That was awesome when they scored 7 runs in the second inning that would never end. It just didn't
on
end.
National television.
At one point, were you thinking, are they going to pull this poor pitcher or just have him keep on serving up baseballs for this lineup? Because it was a slaughter.
Do you ever have this? This is related, I promise. This is answering your question. Maybe this is my weird mind tricks, but sometimes I either want us to go 7 runs like we did against this guy, and then it's like they're going to pull him.
Yeah.
Which they did. Jason Alexander, I think is his name. Actually, I think that's the Seinfeld actor. I don't know this guy's first name. Then sometimes the Mariners will score like 2 on a guy and have the bases loaded, and like I want it to be 7 So, or I want it to be like 4 and not 7 because I want them to like prolong him being in the game because he's clearly overmatched. And
Yes.
sometimes this happened in the Astros game. They brought in the bullpen and they went lights out for 7 innings, right? The night before, like they went lights out for a certain number of innings.
Yeah.
The bullpens are hard sometimes. So I kind of want the starter to like give up a run every inning instead of
This is a great
right? Do you get what
problem
I'm
to
saying?
have
Yeah, I
because
know.
before it was just like, can we score runs?
That's
Can
so
they
true.
score more than a run?
But this has been my whole life. I've had this weird brain thing with starters. JP's Grand Slam was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah, and we didn't even like. That was the third game. Really,
Yeah.
it felt like the big win was
yeah.
the night before on Saturday.
Yes. To finish your
Which
sentence, that's the most awesome thing of the weekend was Victor Robles's incredible diving catch in game 2 to win the game and
it
double
was
off
so
Jason
cool.
Myers.
To be honest, I was watching the Apple Cup. I'm that hardcore.
Yeah.
But it was one of those dual things where, okay, bottom of the ninth, like, do I turn the channel now to kind of see how this thing ends? And unfortunately, I just missed it.
Oh.
So I didn't see it live, but
so
social media is good enough where you can watch everything right after with every voice, right? Radio, TV. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. 2 things. One, I'm not surprised you were watching the Apple Cup. I think everybody who listens knows your number one is the Husky football. You're hardcore.
Yeah. Yep.
I was at a wedding in a backyard, and it was wonderful. It was very chill, and they had a TV with the game on, and they had the Mariners on. Actually, they originally started with Notre Dame, and a friend of mine who listens to this podcast was like, "We got to get that nun away from the TV watching the Notre Dame game." It was literally a nun that was holding up the Mariners being on TV. We got the Mariners on, and then they switched to the Apple Cup on the big TV. So we had a phone. We had multiple phones for innings, and then the 9th inning, we had a phone at a table, and we all watched it together. There was like 4 of us high-fiving, going crazy when Robles made the catch. I couldn't tell. It was on a phone, right? Like, did he catch it? Did he not catch it?
Yeah.
And then it was like this incredible range of emotions of he caught it. Oh my God, they just doubled him up. The game's over, right? It was incredible. And every win this weekend, it's just going to sound so dumb, but it mattered more. I went into the weekend having a conversation with someone saying, like, let's just win one. This is such a Mariners fan approach. Like, let's win one. We're still in the mix. And then you win the second one. It's like you won the series. Now you've won the tiebreaker. This is huge. Then you get greedy to win 3, right? And then when they went up 7-0, you're feeling like, whoa, what is happening?
Someone just texted me exactly what you just said. What is happening?
Yeah.
And this is the person that texted me about the Seahawks, the Huskies, and it was 7-0, and he just texted me, what is happening? Like, it's just too good to be true. Do Seattle sports fans deserve this? Yes, we do.
Well, for sure. I worry when you say it's too good to be true, a little bit, but I think it's safe to say, like, honestly, if they blow this somehow, the gods are not on our side, the Mariners, whatever. Like, because here's the deal. Let's break this down for people who may not be reading Twitter every hour to figure this out. And I sent this to you, Kev, but I don't know if you read it.
I read it, yeah.
Okay. So over the course of from last night to today, I went to sleep last night and the magic number's 3 for the playoffs and the AL West. The magic number, for those who don't know, a combination of Mariner wins / at this point, Astros losses because they have lost the tiebreaker to the Guardians. There's one team who's going to be out between the Guardians, Astros, Tigers, Mariners, and Red Sox. That's 5 teams. There's 4 spots because the Blue Jays are in already. Technically, they are. And the Yankees are going to be in. The Yankees are just ahead of us, and we're not that far behind the Yankees, but they're going to be in. Because the Mariners are so closer to the Yankees than they actually are the Astros at this point, chances are the Mariners are going to be in. But the combination was 3. So if the Astros go 6-0, the Mariners could still go 3-3 and make the playoffs, right? If the Astros go 3-3, the Mariners can go 0-6 and win the division and make the playoffs, which is, so it's very likely, right, that something good's going to happen. Somewhere last night, a Reddit thread, a Twitter thread, something crazy happened where somebody who's good at math and started figuring out
I mean,
these
ChatGPT
schedules.
could do this at this point, right?
No, I agree with you, but
Yeah.
here's what's crazy to me. You have a Major League Baseball wasn't putting this on their site. Like, they weren't updating this. It seemingly came from a fan who said, well, Cleveland plays Detroit and Boston their last 6 games, right? No, Cleveland plays Texas. Boston plays Detroit and Cleveland plays Detroit. So the combination of the teams behind them playing each other meant that they all can't get to 88 wins if Seattle wins one more game. And then the Yankees have to win a game in order to establish a tiebreaker over the Red Sox. So basically, tomorrow night, by the time you listen to this will be Tuesday. That night, if the Yankees win and the Mariners win, they're in the playoffs. I told my wife this right before we came on. She's like, wait, what? Like, really? Like, it's that simple? I'm like, yes. And then, of course, you want to win the division. You want to get the 2 seed for all the reasons of you skip the wild card round.
Your pitchers get rest. More importantly, the bullpen gets rest.
The bullpen is rested. You want, you don't, for all the reasons the hitters, stay hot, blah, 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 blah. It's like an all-star break. Julio came out of the all-star break. He's fine, right? You take the break because you want Brash, Bizardo, Spire, and Munoz on 4 days rest, and you want them throwing 100, not 94, right?
You know what?
And if they have rest, they're going to throw hard. You want Kirby throwing 98.
I want the dude catching the balls and hitting home runs every other day to be healthy. Elsner, not to...
Wait, hold on. I got to say one more that matters about the rest in the 2 seed. Ryan Wu, right? We don't know what's going on. We know he has a pec injury. Hopefully he's not on the injured list. But there'll be a whole thing. I'm going to come back to you in Cal. I know you want to go there. Yeah. But Wu is a big deal right now. And depending on when they clinch, they could rest Wu. They could call up Logan Evans to pitch a game. Even if they're going for the 2 seed, I mean, Wu's supposed to pitch on Thursday. I just don't think it's going to happen. They could actually go Kirby and Gilbert before everybody's not on 4 days rest. So they could get to Saturday, the game I have tickets for, and pull out Logan Evans against the Dodgers or something.
Yeah.
Or go Hancock for 2 in an opener role, right? And they could just rest Wu if they can kind of go. I mean, that's why this Rocky series is big, right? I mean, even if they won 2 out of 3 and other things went the right way, they could be in a spot where they don't have to pitch Wu the rest of the year and really rest him. And then he rests until October 4th, which is game 1. And you don't even have to pitch him in game 1. You could pitch him in game 3. You could really give him a chance to rest his pec. That sounded weird, but
yeah.
Yeah. And Cal, you hit it.
Yeah.
Cal's awesome. He plays every day. He gets hit in the neck and then he hits home runs.
Yeah.
So rest
him. He crouches down the entire game.
He sure does.
And catches flamers. I was thinking about this. This is purely maybe an empathetic response, but I'm training for a half marathon and I ran 12 miles last Saturday.
Whoa.
And I was sore.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, dang, it would be really nice for me to have a bye week. Just one bye week where I wouldn't have to run at all. And it would make all the difference. And then I thought about, okay, what does it mean for the Huskies, the Seahawks to have a bye week? And then I was thinking of, what does it mean for the Mariners to have a bye week when they really haven't had a bye week since the All-Star break, especially Cal Raleigh. So that's a long way of me saying I actually thought about the bye week. It doesn't seem like it makes much of a difference, but it is. I do think it is. There's something to it. I want to see the research, obviously, and see what it says. I bet you it's probably insignificant, but who knows?
Yeah, I think it has worked out for wildcard teams like the Rangers and the Diamondbacks 2 years ago to keep playing hot, right?
Yeah.
For sure, you come in, your timing's good, whatever it is, especially for hitters. But I think if all things are equal and you just took the random chance out of it, which so much of the baseball playoffs is who's hot, what happened in that game. Would you like to have a rested bullpen? Yes. Would you like your catcher, who's an MVP candidate, to your point, who's caught however many games, have rest? Yes. Polanco's knee, Naylor's shoulder. And then go to your starters, right? Would you like to line up your rotation how you want versus the 95 Mariners. Bob Walcott pitched game 1 of the AL Championship Series because Randy Johnson had to pitch in relief. Bob Walcott won that game, but it kind of screwed up the rest of the rotation.
Yeah.
And Cleveland was better, that year. But if you had all things being equal, of course you want to line it up. So I think they have a 2-game lead on the Tigers, if I remember right now, and they have the tiebreaker. So it's a 2.5 or 3-game lead. If the Mariners go 3-3, I think they're going to have the 2 seed. Better than 3-3 is awesome, but go win the first 3 games against the Rockies.
Yeah.
Get it done. Or at least win the first 2. I feel like everything would fall into place.
Yeah. So I'm imagining an image in my head of the Mariners doing something incredible at the end of October. And this will be the part of the documentary, right? This 15-game run or whatever, this insane run.
14-1 over the last 15 games.
It's the same thing as Moneyball, right? Where they're playing the music, right? And then we make it, and it's kind of, I feel like the Astros series was what Cal Raleigh's home run in 2022 was. This was as good as it gets. And it's just the way they did it too. They just killed them. And it wasn't that the Astros are the same team that they were in the past. They're much weaker. I don't care.
No.
The Mariners handled them. They went on the road and took 3 games from a team that's just always beat them when it mattered.
Yeah, the Astros lined up their 3 best starters on purpose for this series. The Mariners have their 3 best starters right now, I'd say. And the Mariners starters went 17 innings and gave up 1 run.
1 run?
Yeah. And the Astros, we beat all 3 of their starters, right? And Hunter Brown is really, really good. I don't want to face him in the playoffs. There's definitely a scenario when the Mariners and Astros are in a playoff series and it's torture. Just enjoy it right now. This is the thing. Mariner fans really go to oh, this sucks. I'm worried about what might happen. Just enjoy it right now.
Yeah.
And this is a team that's going to go out and play their butts off on Tuesday against the Rockies. I just don't envision them going flat for 6 straight games, but maybe they will. But they're in a spot, everybody, where if they go 0-6, they probably still get in. And if they don't, then we'll come back here next week and we'll cry.
Yeah.
I mean, but even if they go 0-6, the Astros have to go 3-3, and everybody else has to go a certain number.
Yeah.
It's just, they're not going to go 0-6.
Speaking of numbers,
yeah,
during that slaughter in the second inning of Sunday's game, Cal Raleigh hit number 58. We have been talking about this. If he gets to 60, he will win the MVP. And I think the discourse is starting to happen now. I feel like national broadcasters are having the same exact conversation we've been having for maybe the past 2 months of the arguments for MVP. Let me just read this list off to you. These are the list of guys that have gotten 58 home runs in a season or more. And I'll start from the bottom. Cal Raleigh, Hank Greenberg, Jimmy Fox, Ryan Howard, Juan Carlos Stanton, Babe Ruth, Roger Maris, Aaron Judge, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds. Now, if Cal Raleigh hits 59, you'll take off. I think you'll take off Greenberg. You'll take off Fox. And then if he hits 60, and then all of a sudden, right, if you hit 60, or if he hits 2 more with some games to go, then we're thinking he's going for the American League record. That's insane.
I mean, yeah, the 2 things I heard, people started talking about if he hits 60, he's going to win it.
I think it's a foregone conclusion.
I also think it would be really interesting if he hit 62 and tied Judge's record.
Yeah.
They have to give it to him, right? I mean, I don't think he's going to hit 4 in the next 6 games, but I wouldn't put it past him either, right? Even if he doesn't get there, I mean, you've been saying this for weeks.
Yeah.
The Mariners are only 1 game behind the Yankees. So if they can keep rolling, it'll be interesting, because the Yankees don't have anything to play for.
Yeah.
Right. Let's say we get to the last 3 games, they're the number 1 wild card. I guess they could lose the number 1 wild card, but I think they'll have it sewn up. They can't win the division, whereas the Mariners could get the 2 seed. So they would have something to play for. And if the Mariners end up with a better record, does that matter to people? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can't wrap my head around like, and then someone commented and said, "Well, how many of those guys that you just named took steroids?" Right? And then that list just becomes that much smaller. Like then you're talking about like the old timer Yankees and
Yeah, I mean Jimmy
guys like
Fox. Jimmy Fox took a lot of steroids, I heard, but yeah, I don't know.
oh
Yeah,
god.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, he's awesome. Um,
There's not
that's it.
much more to
There's
say.
just nothing
Yeah.
else to say. Like, I really, I hope we're having a conversation about who the Mariners could play as the 2 seed, and I hope we're talking about Cal with 60 home runs next week at this time. So
Yes.
that's
Just
what I'm hoping
manifest
for.
it just like you
Manifest
manifested
it.
Victor Robles. Like anytime you say something, it just becomes true.
Yeah, that's what people say about me all the time. It's true.
I'm pumping you up, man, for
I
no
did
good
tell you
reason.
last year the Huskies weren't going to be very good, and they were 6-6. So
Yeah, yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
harsh your buzz on the Huskies. Let's go to the Huskies, Kev.
Yeah, dude.
Finish the sentence for me.
That was awesome. Jed Fish kept in the starters at the very end of the game to just pile on the Cougs. Yeah, the Huskies won 57-24, I think was the
59.
score.
59.
59-24. God, shorted him 2 points.
Yep.
Jed Fish did not short Coleman for him to get his, well, he was close. I don't think he got his 100 yards, but he didn't short Denzel Boston. And this is kind of, he had his presser today and someone asked him, or he had some interviews today and someone asked him, why did you keep in your studs basically? And he said, they were close to these milestones. They were close to 100 yards. I wanted to get them, those numbers, which was a great, at least he's transparent. Whether that means,
Yeah.
is it being a good sport? I don't know. I know you're kind of wincing. You're a coach.
No, I'm not wincing because
Yeah.
I have absolutely zero problem with him running up the score on the Cougars. I think in a college football environment where you have to get attention to get into a playoff, where you have to get attention to get ranked, which means more money and more attention and better TV games, where you are in a rivalry that is honestly, the fans are terrible towards each other. They're terrible on social media. There's no love at all. You lost last year. I don't care. Yeah, run it up. That's fine. Like, I never as a coach had a problem with, to be quite honest with you, we always used to talk about this, like running up on the Catholic schools. Like in a Catholic school rivalry against each other, we're all playing with the same sort of resources.
Yeah.
And we know that there's inherent advantages to a private school. There's all these different things, right? Like,
well, there's the RPI for basketball too, right? So
yeah, it doesn't matter what your point. No, it doesn't matter what your point spread was and stuff. But I never felt bad about that. I would never run it up on, like when I was a girls basketball coach, we would do everything we could to not run it up on like a public school that wasn't very good at girls basketball, right? Like it just, or boys when I was coaching, like that wasn't cool.
I think there's definitely a line though too of like competitiveness, because there is an element of like not taking your foot off the gas.
And I mean, it was a 7-point game going into the fourth quarter. So.
Exactly.
And I do mostly prescribe to the theory of like, you don't want to get your butt kicked, go be better.
Yeah.
So if you're the losing team and you don't like it, especially in college football, come on, just go be better. We're not talking about high schools where like you're not you're not recruiting and kids are just coming to your school and you're doing what you can with what you got. We're not talking about that. We're talking about college football.
Yeah, to the Cougs' defense, though, their
no
coach
Coug
left
defense.
Okay,
nope.
All right,
sorry.
All right.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Their coach leaves. Their former quarterback is a Heisman contender, like top 3.
Yep.
Their program's gutted.
Yep.
And they're playing Oregon State 2 times.
Yep. We talked about that.
They're playing in the CW. They're playing games on the CW.
Although I saw someone say they get better ratings, more viewers than the Huskies do or something. I don't know if that's true. I didn't fact check it. I feel for Coug fans. I do not feel for the Cougs football team / organization. I mean, I think it is a sad reality of college football. Is it good for college football? I don't really know. I think they should have regional conferences. I think they'll fix that at some point. But also, I don't know. Did anyone feel bad for Santa Clara when Gonzaga beats them by 40 every year? Like, sorry to bring it back to me.
Yeah.
But like, Gonzaga's better. They're a better program. Go be
Yeah.
better, Santa Clara, right? Go be
Yeah.
better, Cougs.
Yeah.
I feel
So
awful that John Mateer and Cam Ward left your program, but
yeah.
also go find a great quarterback to play for you. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, they will, and then the person
Yeah.
will leave the next year.
Well, then you need your alums to step up. This is what Jack Thompson said this week
Yeah.
when he
Yeah.
told the former Cougar great. He said, "Get on or get out." He's like, basically, let's do it. So go raise money.
Yeah.
The Huskies I just saw a thing on social media. Do the Huskies have richer alums? Probably in the Seattle area. But they're also raising crap loads of money for the NIL.
Yeah.
They're on their way to this $350 million goal or whatever it is. And the Cougs got to get something together. They got to figure it out. So,
yeah.
So am I heartless? I'm heartless.
No, you're not. I think you have a heart. We're 3 games in. We're 3 games in. What's one thing you know for sure about the Huskies, and what's one thing you're still like, I still don't know? You know, it's still
That's
a question
awesome.
mark for you.
Yep. So to go with your earlier sentence too, I could answer every week. That was awesome when Damon Williams played football. So
yeah,
I think he's the real deal. I know Damon Williams he'll have bad moments, but he'll be really good. I think he's an NFL quarterback. I know he's good.
Yeah, so he could definitely
awesome.
pass the football, which is people talked about his legs, and he showed this last year. Like he can sling it.
Yeah,
like,
he makes throws
accurate.
that Will Rogers was not making.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
not that Will Rogers is the bar. Sorry, Will Rogers, but yeah,
that throw to Denzel Boston.
Yes,
that's an NFL throw.
And he has NFL throws.
Throw. Yep. If Penix is the ceiling, and you think of like the recent history of guys like Jacob Eason, Jake Locker,
Browning's probably number 2 all time, right?
Yeah. Jake Browning's Jake Browning's an NFL quarterback, right?
Barely, but yes, he's having
a rough
time. He's having a rough time this year.
Yeah,
now that he's starting.
Yeah. I'll never give fantasy advice to Christine again. I told her to, start Penix. She goes, "Why'd you tell me to start Penix?" I said, "Well, you could have picked up Browning." She's like, "That's horrible advice. Look how Browning did it." I said, "Okay, don't ask me for
Penix has destroyed my fantasy teams this year." Mon Williams is a real deal. To answer the other part, what would you say? Something I know and something we don't know yet?
Yeah, something you don't know through 3 games.
Well, I'm worried I know it, but I'm hoping I don't know it. How about that?
Yeah, that works.
And what I think I know is that the defense is not very good.
Yes.
And I'm hoping I don't know that and that they will get better because Ryan Walters has a great reputation.
Yeah.
The injuries are not helping right now. I'm worried Tacario Davis is not playing this week.
And our starting linebacker.
Yeah, he's out. He's on the depth chart, but they already said he's out for the game. I think the defense might be bad.
Yeah, I mean, the defense was bad in 2023. Granted, this offense is nowhere near that offense. Although, it wouldn't be an insane argument to make considering this run the offense is on. Like,
it's not insane based on the first 3 games. Like, if you go
just score touchdowns,
look up any stat, they're like number 1 in the country, literally by all metrics.
Yeah.
In offense. And what did they went like 24 straight possessions with scoring or something like that.
And people say, well, they had a soft schedule. Every team has a soft schedule at this point. 3 games in.
Not as soft as the Huskies.
I mean, Ohio State played Texas, right?
Not as soft as the Huskies. The Huskies have had as Charmin soft as you can find.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
This goes to your next. I love your next question. Can I find 4 losses on the schedule?
Oh yeah.
You know I can.
Can you?
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely, I can.
So,
because I don't have the same optimism you have.
Okay, so share the road games because I think those are the most obvious ones, right? So they're on the road against Wisconsin.
Well, it's not just road games. I think there are 2. Here's how I would say it. I actually go home games. There are 2 clear losses: Ohio State and Oregon. I don't care.
2 clear losses?
Yeah.
8.5 line. You think it's a clear loss?
Yes.
Okay. They haven't lost a game at home.
I just said that their defense isn't good.
Okay.
I think this is what I'm telling you, Kev. You're excited. I think it's awesome.
Guaranteed loss.
I go
Guaranteed
on
loss.
Husky Twitter and everyone's retweeting Ohio State people who are like, we're so worried about this offense because it's some bot that their mom created who's a Husky fan. Like they're going to lose to Oregon. They're going to lose to Ohio State.
Okay.
And I'm just going there because
okay. So
they can score as many points as they want. Let me finish my point though, because I'm going to crap on Jedd Fisch again. Until he wins a game that's a big game for the Huskies, I have every reason to think he's not going to win a big game.
I don't think that's fair. He beat number 10 Michigan last year at home. That's a big game.
That's fair. You're right. That is fair. Yeah.
Now,
okay.
Michigan ended up being okay. They didn't end up being the number 10 team.
I remember watching that game and being like, wow, Michigan does not have a quarterback who can throw the ball at all.
That's a little different.
But that's fair. Right? Yeah. Okay. That's fair. You're right.
Ohio State.
I don't believe in Jedd Fisch as a. I believe in him as a recruiter, maybe a motivator, a vibes guy, a killer apparently, because he's just like, screw you, Cougs, we're running up the score. So I like all that. Do I trust him against Ryan Day in Ohio State or Dan Lanning in Oregon? I know everybody hates Dan Lanning, but like, no, not right now. So those are 2 losses. I think they're going to lose at Michigan. That's 3. And then, I mean, this team was 6-6 last year. So you're telling me they're going to win at Maryland and Illinois at home and at Wisconsin? One of those. I think
Illinois looked bad.
I just think they're going to drop one of those.
Yeah. I think they'll drop a road game for sure.
And, I don't even think it has to be a road game. Like, I know that they have this big win streak at home. They could lose to Illinois at home. I know Illinois looked bad last week. They could lose to Purdue at home. Like, I don't know.
They cannot lose against Purdue at home.
I'm just telling you.
You're going into. Like,
I'm not just playing devil's advocate.
You're going into French territory. I'm not taking it. I'm not taking the bait.
Okay. We'll talk after next week when they play Ohio State. Yeah. I'm not here to crap on the Huskies.
No,
I hope
not.
I would be so happy if they go 10-2, 11-1, whatever, or even like you said, 9-3, and they're in the conversation. Of course, I want to watch the Huskies do well.
Yeah.
Damon Williams is awesome. Jonah Coleman's incredible. Denzel Boston's incredible. I don't know if the list keeps going after that. John Mills is incredible. Love John Mills. I love guards, but I don't. Yeah. Alex McLaughlin, that was awesome. He's rad. That guy's rad. What a great safety that they picked up. I think Prysock and Dakario Davis are cool. They have guys I want to root for. I'm not rooting against Jedd Fisch. I just need to see it. Like, what has Jedd Fisch done in his career to make people believe he's going to go?
Who's the biblical figure? Peter? No, it's not Peter. Who's the guy that needs to see it to believe it?
That's me, I guess. I don't know. I don't know who it is. Do I work in a Catholic school? I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm trying to look up okay. I just want to. Okay.
Yeah.
Jedd Fisch was 16-21 overall at Arizona. His last year was 10-3.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what got him the job, right?
And they won the Alamo Bowl, and that was a good team. The Huskies beat them somehow, but it was real close. He had an interim job at UCLA where he was 1-1. He was 6-7 counting the bowl game last year. I don't know. You gotta show it to me. And honestly, Kev, everyone remembers the score last week, and the fourth quarter was awesome, and they had a couple big turnovers. But are you telling me when you were watching that game you weren't nervous when it was 28-21?
Well, yeah. But I also know I was nervous when Kalen DeBoer was...
Well, yeah. That's fair.
Like every single game in 2023 and 2022, it seems like as well. So, it's kind of like what we said. The sample size is still small. I think it's unfair to judge him based on last year's record when he had a shell of it. And we've had this.
Before, so that's all fair. But it's also fair for me to say they're not going to beat Ohio State and Oregon at home.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that's fair.
And you're very excited. And the line went from 14 to 8.5, and everyone's excited. And I think
can I just build the case?
Defense is going to have a hard time stopping Ohio State.
Okay, just let me build the case, and you can throw in any arguments here. Here's my case for how the Huskies can win on Saturday. 1, they haven't lost at home forever, right? That counts for something. 2, the Buckeyes are rolling out redshirt freshman this is the toughest environment he's ever played in, right? What's a recipe for a defense to overperform? A bad quarterback, which is how the Huskies have won. That's how they beat Michigan last year. Now, I'm not saying this guy's bad. Julian Sayin is bad. No, he has like the highest completion percentage in the country. So let's be careful where we go there. Number 3, the offense can go pound for pound, right? So like if let's say Ohio State puts up 7 points, 14 points, the defense doesn't need to overperform. The defense just needs to be okay for the Huskies to be in the game. And then if you're down 10 points going in the fourth quarter, they have a chance. They definitely have a chance.
Yeah, I
and
think,
that's what it's going to be. That I'll feel good if it's only a 10-point spread going.
Sure, for sure. I'll be excited. You know, I'm rooting for the Huskies.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be so cool if Damon Williams had a coming out party and Denzel Boston and Jonah Coleman showed how great they are. And the defense is better than we think. They just haven't, you know, but I also think
I'm nervous about.
Everybody thinks the offense is just going to keep rolling. And my concern is they've played 3 of the worst, 40 teams in the country. I don't know how good Colorado State's going to
They're going to deal with Caleb Downs, the
they're
best
dealing with
player in the country.
Like 7 starters who will be playing on
NFL,
Sundays.
Yeah.
NFL so
teams,
I should have spun it more positively. It's going to be totally fascinating to watch.
Yeah. I'll be there.
Take Ohio State in the points. Okay. Kev, you know, Sunday was kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Don't you think? That was awesome when Tony Horton returned a 95-yard punt return for a touchdown.
That was awesome when it was like 21-0 with like 10 minutes to go in the first quarter or whatever it was.
And Sam Darnold had thrown like 4 passes or something. Yeah. That game changed my view of the Seahawks a little bit.
In what way? Where if you were at expectations level wise, like I forgot where you were prior to the season. You were
I said playoffs. I said over 8.5 wins. Those are 2 bets I've made, literally. I thought they had a shot to win the division. I don't know if I said on this podcast I think they were going to win the division. Then I was kind of down after the Niners game because it was such a loss. You know, it was obviously it was a loss, but it was such a lost opportunity. Now the Niners are without Bosa and Purdy's still out, and I mean they're just banged up. They're giving McCaffrey the ball like 75 times a game. That's not going to last. The Rams are good. We'll see what happens on Thursday against the Cardinals for the Seahawks, but I feel really confident now. I think the Seahawks did a really smart thing. 2 things happened in Sunday, besides the awesome dominant win. They rested Julian Love, Nick Emanwari, and Devin Witherspoon. I think Witherspoon and Love could have played on Sunday, but they knew they had to play on Thursday, so they rested him. And Zach Charbonnet is in the same boat, but he's offense. Those guys are all practicing today. They're going to be ready to go on Thursday, so they get basically their defense back, ready to roll. They'll have a whole healthy defense against Arizona. That's really smart. But it only works if you can pull off a win, and they pulled off a win against the Saints, dominant fashion. Secondly, because they were up by so much, they got to rest dudes in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You don't get injured, and you have fresher legs, like a Ken Walker, right? Like a Sam Darnold. He didn't play basically the fourth quarter. Smith and Jigba, whoever. They got to rest. So Arizona was in like a dogfight the whole game. So I think the Seahawks come in fresher. They have a rest advantage, even though they're traveling. Seahawks always play well in Arizona. They have great fan base that goes down there.
I don't remember a blowout win like this in last year's schedule.
I mean, the Seahawks have lost 7 out of their last 8 games at home.
Yeah.
So it was awesome for everybody, right? They just, I guess, in the way that I'm not sure about Jed Fish is my fair way to say it, I am sure about Mike Macdonald.
Yeah.
So Mike Macdonald, just I believe for whatever reason, it seems like the guys believe he makes, you know, he's still pretty green on like decisions sometimes in game. You know, we talked about it in week 1, not going for it on 4th down against the Niners is a pretty big miss, I think. but God, he motivates them and gets them going. And that defense believes in him, and they're getting better. And they can't even do all the stuff that he wants to do because they don't have all the personnel back yet. And they might be able to do a little bit more on Thursday. Some exotic looks is what they like to say on the podcast, Kev. What do you think?
I
What's your
will,
outlook?
I will be the contrarian here. The Seahawks started 3-0 last season. And I'm sure if you queued up the tape, we were optimistic about last year's team. I mean, they beat down Miami 24-3 last year.
Yeah, that got me excited last year. I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. And we had that big win over Denver. And so the Saints aren't a good barometer, right? It's just like the Huskies. We're going to learn more every single game, but I think we do know more that the Seahawks are a lot better than they were last season. I'm still kind of iffy on the offense, but we'll see. We'll see on Thursday, right?
Here's why I'm not iffy on the offense as in comparison. The offensive line's legitimately better. It is better.
Yeah.
They didn't have a false start or a holding penalty in the first 2 weeks of the year. I know they had at least one holding penalty in week 3. They're rating out okay on Pro Football Focus, but did you know Sam Darnold's the number 1 quarterback on Pro Football Focus right now?
I love it.
So whatever their rating system is, right? He's number 1. Ken Walker's their number 2 running back. Jackson Smith and Jigba is their number 8 receiver. Charles Cross is their number 7 offensive lineman. The Seahawks are the number 1 team in football in DVOA, which is another metric, not Pro Football Focus, that people really cite. Like Amina Kimes will cite that on her podcast, right? Or on TV. DVOA is something people respect. For whatever reason, the Seahawks are really good. Part of it's special teams, I think, gives that overall feature a little bit stronger. But yeah, the difference this year will be, I mean, obviously they have to go win in Arizona, because if you go 2-2 and Arizona's 3-1 and the Rams are 3-1 and the Niners are 3-1 or 4-0, it doesn't feel very good.
Yeah, you gotta win your division. You gotta beat up on your division mates.
They can't have what they had last year, which is that loss to the Giants, which was part of a 3-game loss. They lost 5 out of 6. You know, they lost to the Niners, Detroit, Buffalo, and the Rams last year, and the Rams were on OT, and so they were 4-5, and then they kind of went on a run. But yeah, they went 10-7 last year, and I think they're a better team than that. And I think they have a schedule. I don't know. I feel like their schedule's set up to be better this year.
Yeah.
So they go Arizona, then they have Tampa Bay at home. That'll be tough, but that's the great uniform game. At Jacksonville, Houston at home, at Washington, Arizona. Then they go at Rams, Tennessee, Minnesota, Atlanta, Indianapolis, LA, Carolina, San Francisco. I don't know. I just feel like they're just better. They're a better team this year.
Yeah.
So I like you being contrarian, like I am for the Huskies. It's good for the podcast content.
Yeah. You know what else is good for the podcast content?
What's that?
When we predict the future and we rebuild the storm and we say, go get a new head coach. And what do they do on Sunday? They let go of Noel Quinn. And so the Storm are looking for a head coach. I think everything's in flux, right? Because they have a lot of free agents.
Yes, everything's in
Definitely
flux.
No guarantee that any of those people come back. We talked about it last week.
There's a bigger thing that's in flux, though, Kev, is the season
CBA.
itself.
Yeah, the CBA, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so it's like, what rules is everybody going to be?
Will there be a season next year?
Yeah.
Or will it be a half season? Will they be able to get a coach if there's no CBA yet? If they get a coach, is there even any point if there's no CBA? Skylar Diggins in her post-game press conference kind of sounded like she wanted to stay, but she was basically like, all we need to worry about right now is the CBA. I don't care about anything else.
Yeah, I think that's what.
So, and it doesn't sound positive right now. From the players. So I think as soon as this season ends in whatever 2-3 weeks, that CBA is the biggest domino to fall. And then, they do need to figure out their coach quickly so they could figure out what direction they want to go with the roster.
Yeah, and then be able to adjust, right?
Mm-hmm.
During free agency. And I think that's kind of the MO, because you don't want to have too many things up in the air, right? When there is instability like the CBA. By the way, just a note on that. The Unrivaled League was just so genius by the players, right? Now they have this bargaining chip.
Yeah.
right? Oh yeah, you want to cut the season short? We'll just go play in this unrivaled league,
And they'll just
right?
probably expand the league to longer.
Where some players are making more money in that league than they're making in the actual league, right?
And they have
in
TV
the
money. I
WNBA.
mean, yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. I think to the point of the Storm hiring a coach, I definitely would not go hire a coach who guarantees you these veterans come back, or like, don't hire a coach because you think Diggins and Ogumake will come back. That's not a future plan. That's a bridge plan that I've been arguing against on this podcast for 2 years now. Stop doing bridge plans. I remember the Mariners tried to do this and they didn't rebuild properly. The Seahawks have done this before where they bring in, well, I don't know, Geno Smith. Even you can argument Sam Darnold is the same way, right? People's argument against that is like, just rebuild with a new young quarterback and do what you did with Russ and go try to build up.
yeah.
They have Malanga, so they kind of can do it while doing something else. But I would rather, I don't know. I don't want to see it'll be interesting.
There are two names that I just want to float.
Okay.
Ann January from the Indiana Fever. She is an assistant starting this year. What's interesting about her is she's actually from Spokane. She was a first round overall pick in 2009. She played her college ball at Arizona State. She went to Lewis and Clark High School. Now I'm moving backwards. She's from the Pacific Northwest. She was in the league for a long time, and she has coaching chops. I think the issue with that kind of profile is it's really similar to what Quinn was, right? Like a former player, kind of just out of the league. What kind of locker room are you gonna? And I think the other problem here is we don't know what the locker room will look like, right? So it's to your point. You want a coach that can kind of set forth a standard, and when you're going the assistant route, it's a gamble. It's a complete gamble because you don't know how whoever commands a locker room. So that's one name. The other is Rena Wakama. She's a Nigerian professional basketball coach. She's the head coach for the senior women's team of Nigeria, but she's also an assistant for the Chicago Sky. So no WNBA experience, but that's another person to watch out for. I'm sure there's other names, but the Storm are probably, I don't know what the CBA limits are on, like, or there shouldn't be any limits because these are coaches, not players, but they're probably interviewing people as early as, they're putting together their list, or the list has already been
They already have their list for sure.
So they're sending out like interview requests to everyone that's not in the playoffs right now.
Yep.
And the league is not that big, right? So you're really looking at a pool of like the top assistants from every single WNBA team, maybe one or two college coaches that are willing to make the jump, but I think that's your list right now.
Yeah, I think Christy Tolliver is also on the list. She's the associate head coach of the Phoenix Mercury. She has an interesting background. The assistant coach for the New York Liberties, Sonia Rahman. Tyler Marsh is the associate head coach at Las Vegas. Right. But then maybe the big one out there is Teresa Witherspoon. She was the Sky coach who got let go pretty famously, like unfairly, a year ago. She's more of a veteran. So that would be kind of maybe the Skylar NECA route to bring him back. I'd have to go look and see how Angel Reese did with her to think about Malanga. Right. I don't know. Here's an interesting wrinkle that I don't think, and if somebody has an answer, please let us know. So I think I read the whole staff was let go, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just Quinn. So one of her assistants is Pokey Chapman. It seems like the players really like Pokey Chapman. And I saw somewhere like maybe she could be the next coach, but they let the whole staff go, right? So probably not.
Yeah.
She's also the associate GM. So I haven't read anybody cover this so far. Is she still the associate GM? Did she fire herself? Was she a part of this decision? What does that mean? Well, I think that is fascinating.
I'll do you one right now. So this is how I feel. This is how I find out if someone left a job, right, in the legal world.
Tell me this. Yeah.
You just go to the website And
I went to the website, and Noelle Quinn was still the coach.
Okay, so it's a badly updated website. Yeah. Okay, so we don't know. This is something to watch out for.
I mean, yeah. And Pokey Chapman, I think, might coach Brazil. Also, I think
she's on the list, right? For our sake, right? I don't know if she's on.
I'm looking at Twitter to see what's going on. Like Tiffany Mitchell cited her specifically in her post game, which was kind of throwing shade at Noelle Quinn.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like Pokey Chapman. She was at LSU for a long time. Like she has this long career. She seems to be really well liked. I just don't know if she's employed anymore. And it fascinates me.
You know what else is fascinating? Seattle Storm don't own the seattlestorm.com domain.
Wait, does it take you to like a weather blog?
Nothing. I typed in seattlestorm.com. Just the worst. So everyone's typing in seattlestorm.com to see what shows up. It's just the landing page of nothing.
Okay.
Anyways, we won't know.
Yeah, I feel like in the press conference or the press release, they would say something or someone would ask the question, and I can't find it on Twitter or anything. It feels like a big one. Like, did she fire herself? That's what I want to know. I fired myself once. Anyway, not really. I hired myself once. I have a top 5 for you. Do you have a top 5 for me?
I have a top 5. I think you're going to love my top 5.
Okay.
Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to ask you first?
Well, I'll suck. I'll suck, so you go first.
Okay, so in front of me, I have the 2001 Mariners stats and the 2025 Mariners stats. I'm going to do a little, I'm going to ask you a question comparing players.
This is great.
And you're going to have to tell me, who had more of what or who had less of what.
Oh, yeah, this is fun. I'm going to suck at it like I suck at all top 5s, but here comes my confidence. Boom, let's go. Okay, ready.
Okay. Who has a higher WAR? Brett Boone or Cal Raleigh?
Cal Raleigh.
No.
Oh, my God.
So Cal Raleigh, according to Baseball Reference, this is our guiding, our Bible right now. Cal Raleigh is at 6.9, which is pretty ridiculous. Granted, there's 6 games left, but I don't think he's going to hit 8.8, which is what Brett Boone was at.
How is that?
Okay. Brett Boone had 37 home runs and 141 RBIs.
Those RBIs are a lot.
And 206 hits. That's a lot of hits.
My first instinct was Brett Boone. God bless it.
Yeah.
All right. Strike one.
Yeah, and I'll just add Ichiro actually had a 7.7 season, and he won.
I would have guessed Ichiro
which
above
is
Cal
nuts.
Raleigh.
But Brett Boone had more WAR than Ichiro that year.
Brett Boone should have been the MVP. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm ready. Next one. This is embarrassing.
Okay. Who has a lower ERA? Brian Wu or Freddie Garcia?
Brian Wu.
Yeah. Brian Wu's at 2.94.
Garcia's over
Freddie 3.05.
Yep. All right. Let's go. Redemption.
By the way, so Freddie finished 3rd in Cy Young that year and made the All-Star team. It'll be interesting to see. I don't think Wu's going to get close. He just doesn't.
You know what? The Cy Young, just for a quick pause here in the American League, is pretty like Scooball has not been good to finish the year.
Yeah.
I'm guessing maybe he'll still win it. Garrett Crochet, Hunter Brown. I don't know who's going to win it in the American League. It's not Brian Wu, but.
Okay, more home runs. Randy Arozarena in left field. Or Mike Cameron in center field. This is
a good one. This is close. Mike Cameron.
Mike Cameron has had 25 home runs.
Oh, that's less.
Arozarena has 27.
That's 27, yeah.
Strike 1.
No, it's strike 2.
Or strike 2?
Lost. I'm out.
All right. Do you want to do one more? We'll just do one more.
Of course, I did want it for the listeners. They love rooting against me.
All right,
it's great.
Do you want to do hitters or do you want to
just go, Kevin? Pitchers? Just go. Okay. It's already embarrassing enough. Do one of each. One more of each.
Okay. Who had more steals? Josh Naylor Okay, and we'll count, however many he
Yeah.
had for his other team.
Yep.
Or Mike
who?
Cameron.
Josh Naylor.
No, Mike Cameron had 34 steals.
You're setting me up. This is you set that up to be Josh Naylor. Like it was this fun thing you were going to reveal.
You're so mad at me.
I'm bad at it because I panic in the moment and then I go against my instincts because now it's like when Chuck Knobloch couldn't throw the ball to first base.
Yeah.
That's how I am with top fives. Give me one more pitching one.
Okay, I'll give you one more pitching one. All right. Who had a higher WAR? Arthur Rhodes or Andres Munoz?
Arthur Rhodes.
No. Rhodes was at 2.5. Munoz is 2.6.
Oh, you're a jerk. You know that? Because I had looked up Rhodes recently and I was shocked how high his WAR was that year. And then you just pick someone who was that close. Like, what's...
Yeah, Cosio was only 1.1.
You're kind of an evil person. You know that? You have problems.
Yeah. Cast a spell. Call the Etsy witch on me.
I need to call somebody. All right. Kev, I think it's fair to say there's a high likelihood the Mariners are going to make the playoffs.
There's a high likelihood they'll win the World Series.
Okay.
They have the highest odds to win the World Series right now.
Sure. That's really hard. I'm not going to go there. But a lot of things have to go wrong for them not to make the playoffs at this point.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So I'm going to look forward to... I'm thinking about the playoffs. I think it's fair for Mariners fans to think about it, right? To set up rotation, like we talked about earlier, what the lineup will do. So I thought, what's interesting to think about with this team is there's so much narrative around the Mariners never going to the playoffs. Well, obviously they went in 2022. So I want you to give me the top 5 players on the Mariners roster in terms of postseason at bats.
Let's go. Okay. Randy Arozarena.
He is number 1. Yeah. 113 postseason at bats.
Dude is ready.
Yeah.
Mitch Garver.
Mitch Garver is number 3, 66. He had 2 different postseasons with the Twins that were short. But the Rangers, he won the World Series. He was there for a lot of at-bats. He was in the lineup every day.
Let's go Polanco.
Number 4, 43 postseason at-bats.
Yeah, for the Twins, right?
Yep. All with the Twins.
Naylor, I guess, has to be there.
Naylor's number 2, 78 postseason at bats.
Oh, that's kind of surprising.
They went like every year. When he was there, they were in the postseason every year. Yeah.
Yeah. So one more dude. Is it Julio? Is Julio number 5?
It's not. Julio has 23 postseason at bats.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which would be, it's not going to be more than Cal. JP's probably the same. Suarez
has 30, but that is not the answer.
Oh.
Strike 2. Suarez did have a tiny little series with the Reds, so he does have more. He has 30, Julio 23, JP 21, Cal 22, right? So they all got a little run. It's Victor Robles is number 5.
That's kind of hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did he make the playoffs with?
So he was on the Washington Nationals. I think he won a World Series, which is weird because I don't remember thinking of Victor Robles as a World Series winner.
The way the dude plays, that's who you want on your team.
I'm gonna give you some here. I'm gonna go back to his player page because I think we should end with facts instead of
guesses,
things that aren't facts. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he was in Washington. He played a lot more years than I thought before he left because I have like fantasy baseball memories of Victor Robles where he was a promising prospect who could get steals, who everybody was like rostering as a hope, and then he wasn't that great for the Nationals. He had 1 at bat in 2017, played 2 games, but in 2019 he had 41 at bats. So actually he had 40. Yeah, I said 42. 41 at bats.
He's been in the league that long?
Kev, he's played since 2017. Isn't that wild? I would have said he played on the Nationals for 2 years, right before he came to the Mariners. Yeah. So the 2019 Nationals, if I can find it, Is that the year they won the World Series, or is that the year that's the year they won the World Series? So Victor Robles was on a team that won the World Series.
And so was Mitch
he
Garver.
he wasn't a starter, right?
Yeah.
True. And Randy Rosarena went to the World Series, and he was awesome. I remember watching every game. He was on that team that went. Robles was 22 years old at that point, so he came up when he was 20. So he's still 2019. He's 22. He's still like what 27. So he's played for a long time, but that was technically his rookie season. So he just kind of had a splash before that.
Yeah.
That just for fun, that Nationals lineup. Jan Gomes at catcher, Matt Adams at first, sneaky good. Brian Dozier at second, Anthony Rendon at third, who's really had a poor turn, right? Adam Eden at right, but here's the rest of the team. Trey Turner at short, Victor Robles in center, Juan Soto in right field.
Well, yeah, I forgot Soto.
So no Bryce Harper. He left,
Yeah.
and then they won the World Series after he left. And then they had a bench of like Howie Kendrick and Kurt Suzuki and some guys Ryan Zimmerman, like guys who were awesome.
Yeah. Scherzer.
And then they had, Steven Strasburg.
Yeah.
I mean, they went out and they won 93 games, won the World Series, and Victor Robles was on that team. So my long-winded point there of our top five was it's weird to think about the Mariners being a team like, they're kind of new to this. Like they'll be tough in the playoffs. I mean, JP Cal, Gino, and Julio haven't had a ton, but they've had over 20 at-bats in the postseason, and they won a dramatic series against the Blue Jays. They won a terrible series against the Astros where that's going to be in their DNA. And then Polanco, Naylor, Garver, Randy, and Robles have all done this. They've all done this, and they've been in big series, right?
Yeah.
Polanco, maybe not so much, but Naylor has gotten to the championship series in that team. The only guys are Canzone and Raleigh have like one at bat combined. Raleigh actually got his at bat when he played for the Dodgers, which is wild.
Yeah, and the pitchers too. The pitchers were all in the Astros.
Remember Kirby came in relief.
Yeah,
twice I think.
Yeah, and they're much better.
Wu has not, right?
Yeah.
But like Munoz has, I think Brash has. Anyway, it'll be really fascinating to see. I am so excited for the Mariners. It's so awesome to just look at the clock all day until the game starts. It's the best. Unfortunately, for 2 straight nights, I have things during the game that I will have to be sneakily watching on my phone. So but that's all right.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe on YouTube. That's my plug.
Never forget Matt Festa, number 67.
We'll see you all next week.
See ya.